What's up, Lazy Nation? This is LazyEye here, and I want to review the book Harleen. So this book is drawn by Stjepan Sejic. He wrote and drawn this book. Very impressed with it so far. Let's move on to the first scene. In the book, Stjepan does a really good job of letting the readers know that this is not a Batman story. This is a story of Harleen and the Joker, if you will. So he opens up the book with I would say a symbol of a bat, a big bat, and basically the bat is coming down on the Joker, and Harleen is like, "Oh no, this is mine. This is me. This is my baby. This is this is my patient." But basically, we all know that this is her lover, and she wants to protect the Joker. So very interesting. So Stjepan takes you to the world of Harleen. Harleen is actually a psychologist. So Harleen is basically interviewing this patient of hers, and he reveals that he set up a hospital. Very interesting twist. Great way to open up a story here. So this is Harley, pre-Joker, young, blonde, ambitious, probably want to be the best psychologist or doctor in Gotham. Stjepan takes you into the world of who she was before the Joker. So it cuts to Harleen at this educational seminar. She is seeking investors to fund her research. So that patient that she was interviewing, she was actually giving an example to the investors that instead of throwing these quote-unquote criminals into the jail cell of Gotham, let's throw them into a mental health facility so they get the treatment that they need. And she's a doctor, you know, so she wants to seek the treatment that they actually need instead of just throwing them in. Instead of just throwing them in jail, let's get the treatment. Let's give them what they need instead of throwing them away. Let them in Arkham instead of Gotham City Jail. And she bombed. Basically, she bombed the seminar. No investors were interested, none so ever. She's at the bar, drinking her misery, drinking her pain away. She's with her best friend, Sandra. Sandra is not even making it even better for her. Sandra is actually making it worse, giving her own 2 cents, and Harley's not having it. Harley's like, listen, you know, let me have my day. Just be quiet. Let me feel like the piece of crap that I am right now. So from the bar, they end up in the street, and Sandra's giving her some, you know, confidence, some advice. You know, listen, I'm in a horoscope, and Harley, you're gonna have a really good week. Just lighten up, take it easy, you know, just don't think about it. And, you know, Harleen is proceeding to walk home. As she walked home, boom, an explosion happened. And this is it. This is the moment. This explosion basically set Harleen to Harley, because she's gonna meet the person that's basically gonna drive her crazy. And there he is, the man that drives her crazy. The Joker and some gangsters in the background with an explosion. Very classic. Joker is ha-ha in a way in the scene, and Harleen is like, holy, what is going on? So the first time Harley laid eyes on the Joker had a gun in her face. Still mind blown of what is the fascination with the Joker then. I mean, she's not crazy about him right now, obviously, because there's a gun in her face. And as the gun is in her face, Stjepan explained some life decisions that she had. You guys really have to pick up the book, because Stjepan does a really good job of creating this art displaying her story. And you know, she's having a flashback, and one of her flashbacks is, you know, why she became a doctor, why did she become a psychologist, and it actually shown where her biggest mistake was she's sleeping with a professor. And she has this reputation now that she slept her way to the top. And the same group of people that she was with in college, one particular person actually followed her in the career that she's in now. So it's very interesting how that story display, all because Joker has a gun in Harley's face. Very interesting. I'm interested to see how this is going to go. So I'm very intrigued at this moment right now. So at this moment, of course, Batman saves the day. I couldn't figure out what exactly the Joker was doing. You know, the Joker is very obsessed with Batman regardless. So basically, the Joker was doing something to get his attention, and it worked. Batman's basically kicking his ass right now, and Harleen is just staring at the shadows like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So from there, that's how it starts. But this one particular look that the Joker gives to Harley causes her to have these intense nightmares. So boom, she snaps out of it. She's still having those nightmares. She's in her day job right now. She's currently working at the Center for the Studies of Criminal Psychology in Gotham. And one of those investors that she did the seminar actually showed up to her job and basically was interested. And she's like, what are you doing here? She actually thought she was getting fired. She actually, Stjepan said a really good quote that I related to so much. How she's basically expects to fail, and she's she's fear of success, and she kind of self-sabotage. I'm like, oh yeah, man, that really good dialogue right there, because I can relate to that so much. And so this is actually pretty big. I mean, despite the fact that the Joker held her at gunpoint, she actually gets an investor, and this investor is actually one of Bruce's associates. So this man is named Mr. Fox. So very interesting. So here it is, everybody. Harleen gets her big break. She gets the investor, and she no longer works for the Center for the Study of Criminal Psychology for Gotham. She's transferred to Arkham, and everyone knows, famously, Arkham is the place where the Joker stays. It's the crazy house. Well, that's not politically correct, but it's mental health facility where the Joker stays. And this is where things kind of gets worse for her. As she works at this particular place, her nightmare gets worse and worse. She runs into the Joker when she walks in. Coincidentally, she sees the Joker, and gosh, man, this is my favorite page 37. So when you go and buy the book, page 37, I love how Stjepan drew this out, where the Joker's clowning around, and then he turns around and he gives this look, and he noticed Harleen or Harley, and then the way it ended, the way they pushed him out, and he looked back and had that question. I don't know what it is, just that simple detail. It's just basically explained. I mean, wasn't even written. It wasn't, Stjepan didn't really have to have a thought bubble where it was like, oh, I think I see her somewhere. No, it was like it was written on his face that, hey, this girl is familiar. I don't know. I really enjoyed that. That's one of my favorite pages of this whole book, was page 37. So Harleen, whole time at Arkham, is to avoid the Joker. And as she's avoiding the Joker and reviewing his case, don't even want to look at him, don't even want to deal with him, the Joker is penetrating her mind via stimulation, in her dreams. Her dreams is getting worse and progressing, and to avoid her dream from progressing, as I was saying earlier, she just stopped sleeping. She drinks a lot of coffee. She's just figuring out a way to just not sleep. And basically, she got to a breaking point, and she said, you know what? Fine. I'll do it. I will look into the Joker's case. And that's the turning point. This is the first book of Harleen. This is where it closes, and this is where it ends, and this is where the first part ends, but this is where the saga really begins. So Harley reviews the Joker's tapes in Arkham. She reviews many doctors that interviewed him in the past, and she's getting her own. She's just basically studying, and she actually come across this video where he stated in quotes, "We're all monsters in a civilized cage, and it just takes that one right kind of pain and fear to break that lock." Good quote, good dialogue there. And she does all her studying, and she's ready. She's going to face the fears, and hopefully she will end this saga of nightmares that she's been going through. And here it is. This is the moment. She's going to meet the Joker face to face. So Harleen finally walks in the building. This is the same man that's been giving her dreams, nightmares nonstop. the Joker, since that he recognizes her and slam up the door to basically scare her, and he recognizes her through the fear in his eyes. And Harleen immediately try to get herself together and like, listen, Joker, Mr. Joker, I know BS. I know you've been lying to a lot of psychologists or doctors before me, and you're not going to lie to me. And Joker's like, no, 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 they're not lies. They're just, stories. They're just, extra exaggerated stories. And I just love telling stories. And Harley looks at the Joker and says, well, Mr. Joker, I don't mind hearing about stories. Tell me more about the city of Gotham, the city of monsters. And Joker looks at Harley and basically says, listen, you don't have to call me Mr. Joker. Just call me Mr. J. And Harleen ends the book with, all right, Mr. J. I love it. It's a good close. I'm going to pick up the book, Harleen 2, and read that as well. I love the way that ends. I'm very pleased with the ending of the first book. So most likely I will review the Harleen 2. You guys stay tuned. Lazy Nation, stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Bye.